Disclaimer.
This podcast is not suitable for children. We do curse and talk about very adult topics.
We also talk about darker topics with a sense of humor, but are by no means making light of those who experience any sort of trauma and have no intention of offending.
All sources for research will be in the podcast episode description, wherever you may be listening. Thanks for your time.
And the dog hair is free. That's it.
Wow.
Wow.
That song was that was good.
Oh,
Good
was it?
job. Yeah.
Okay.
I initially my initial reaction to the first little bit was like,
What the fuck is this?
oh. And then it got into its groove and I was like, oh, this is nice.
I don't know if it I don't know. I had a hard time with today's topic material because I don't know.
You'll continue to have a hard time because I go in 3 different directions.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
So for because we didn't really do it last episode, so just a little debriefing. I'm trying to start to do a a track of the episode type of thing based on whatever the topic material is. So
Without knowing the details of the topic.
the subject material.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I get the title, the topic, and then try to base something around said topic.
Mm-hmm.
So that was my interpretation and Jess's reaction to a song based on the topic of drum roll.
Oh, that's me.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, it's Mad Hatter history. That's where it started.
Mm-hmm. So I went edgelord.
And then yeah, and then it went from Mad Hatter to Scary Trees, and then back around to a person who could potentially be considered a Mad Hatter.
Go on.
Yeah. So this research started with me reading a quick paragraph in the book In the Name of Science by Andrew Golishek. It's a history of secret programs, medical research, and human experimentation, which then led me further to research the term Mad Hatter and what came of the effects from poisoning from this profession. So, quick Google search took me to history.com, to an article titled "Where Did the Phrase Mad as a Hatter Come From?" Updated in 2018. So we might know the term Mad Hatter from the Lewis Carroll book Alice in Wonderland. Mm-hmm. But the name or the phrase Mad as a Hatter did not originate here. Rather, Carroll was referencing the conditions of industrial workers of the time. In the 18th and 19th centuries, industrial workers were exposed to extremely dangerous chemicals and had lasting effects on their bodies and minds. Mercury.
Mm-hmm.
Mercury.
You got it.
Arsenic, lead, and other heavy metals and chemicals were ingested, breathed in, or absorbed through the skin during production. One of the many industrial jobs was hat making, specifically felt hats.
Nifty.
Yeah, so we've already kind of been through this because we did this episode, and then I was like, I don't like it.
Yeah, go ahead. Air all the dirty laundry. Yeah, we had a full episode of this recorded, and then had a talk afterwards because I think we had I don't know what the correct terminology is for it, but essentially sequel syndrome, where we did one episode, felt pretty good about it, and then we did the second episode and went, that was shit.
Yeah, it was really, there were multiple things too. It wasn't just it wasn't funny enough. The whole thing just felt weird.
Yeah.
I don't think we can record at night.
So this is morning for frame of reference, where this is a nice chill Sunday morning.
Yeah.
Even right before I hit record, Jess was like, do you want to bring a candle in here? so
it's
there's a candle.
It's very pleasant and nice, and we're very awake.
Yep.
And just had coffee.
So it's pretty chill. I made breakfast and everything. The dogs are chilling in the hallway.
Yeah.
And by the window. So we're all good.
Charlie's tip-tapping around.
And there she goes.
Yeah. Charlie, why don't you lay down? Lay down.
Charlie, come here.
Lay down.
There you go. Good girl. Lay down.
Lay down. Okay. So yeah, felt hats. So let's talk about making hats.
Do it.
So the next part, my source is from the New England Historical Society site. The article is The Mad Hatters of Danbury, Connecticut, and it was updated 2021. So felt hats, think about 18th and 19th century felted hats, like the tricorn hat. It's like the Civil War hat.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of looks like a more subdued pirate hat.
I was about to say that was like within the same timeline, likely adopted by pirates, and
Yeah.
as you've seen by pirates, because it's all within the same time period.
Right, yeah. I mean, people defect or they attack
Right.
like government ships.
But they keep the uniforms
And they
because
keep-
those uniforms, pretty silent.
Well, they were the only clothes that existed.
That too.
So
Style from necessity.
yeah, think pirate hat, but like take off all of the fun shit.
Yeah. Nice.
And then other types of hats were like various other brim hats, kind of like witches' hats, but not the pointy top, just like rounded. Later, bowler hats would become a style, but that was more in London at the time. So, but I'm more concerned with like U.S. history at the moment. So, like, we'll talk about that later.
Gotcha.
So, legend has it that Legend has it that a man named Zadok Benedict created felt in Danbury, Connecticut. And we'll talk more about Danbury, Connecticut in a second here. Apparently Zadok is like a super, like, it's like a biblical name.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'll take your word for it.
I was trying to be good and look up like pronunciation. And I don't remember what it means, but yeah.
Nice.
So he had a hole in his boot and patched it with some fur. After wearing it down, he found that his foot sweat and the friction created felt.
Nice.
And then history was made and hats were industrialized in the area.
Like a hair band-aid.
Yeah. Ooh.
Moving on.
Yeah. The felt material would be made from fur of smaller animals like rabbits and beaver, being treated with a solution containing mercury nitrate. And according to In the Name of Science book, the workers would soften the material by licking the felt. But
Tasty.
upon further research, I found out more about the process, and they weren't like ingesting it as much as they were just like swimming in it. The felt was matted and treated with the chemical solution, but then shaped into cones, and they shrank them in boiling water. So here is a quote that kind of paints a picture.
Every time.
I know. Please just cut those out for real, like on a serious note.
Well, I was for humor's sake, I was gonna say it's kind of like you clearing your throat, but the way that you're like moving away from the mic, which I'm sure listeners appreciate, is remember Tay Zonde, Chocolate Rain, and every time he would have to take a breath, he like had that caption at the bottom of the screen where he was like, "I move my mouth away from the mic so that you don't catch the breath on the microphone."
I don't. That sounds really familiar.
Yeah.
Like a distant memory that I can't
Yeah.
recall.
From the baby stages of the YouTube.
Yeah, I put that in the recycle bin. But I never emptied out the recycle bin, but the search bar isn't finding it in the recycle bin.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Please just take all of that out.
Yeah.
Like any body noises just take out. Like I can't handle.
I got you.
So here's that quote. Did you hear that?
Yeah. Did you hear it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because
Oh, I'm disgusting.
you see all the stuff that you miss because you can't hear things.
Yeah. Hold on, my body is like,
You got a demon in you.
she wants to say something. So much steam you didn't only want to wear a rubber apron in front of you, but also over your head. There wasn't any ceiling. The steam rising to the rafters condensed and came down like rain. So, like, just think of giant vats of boiling water in like 18th century
And And mercury nitrate.
And yeah, 18th century, like industrial warehouse, just exposed metal, like no respirators, just like a one rubber apron. And it's like a sauna in this place. And you just have the mercury nitrate just like wafting into you.
Yeah.
Like soaking into your skin. Like,
That's still a problem with certain types of like manufacturing environments where you'll like be boiling some type of liquid. Obviously you boil a liquid. Anyway, you're boiling something and the steam rises, and that's actually like a big thing with mold prevention because the steam rises and condenses on the ceiling, and then it just like drips down on top of whatever is below it, which spreads mold and moisture and everything else. So like that's a big, like still to this day, that's a big manufacturing concern.
yeah.
So.
So just like times that by 1,000.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So over time, the workers would develop reactions to the mercury nitrate, such as tremors or Hatter's shakes, speech problems, emotional instability, and hallucinations. All of these reactions could be loosely interpreted as drunkenness and were absolutely exploited by employers. So an upsetting fact is that if the workers filed a complaint, tried to leave, and even went to the doctors, they could be blacklisted and not be able to work at any other factory. So eventually, a Hatters Union was created in 1851 to protect workers, and later Mercury was banned from the production of felt in the 1940s. It's a long-ass time.
Yeah, you had to be dealing with that.
Yeah. So to segue into Connecticut, this is all still sourced from the New England Historical Society site. Tremors would be called the Danbury Shakes after the city of Danbury, which was the leading center for hat making in the 19th century, and would be known as the hat capital of the world. I'd never heard of that.
That's interesting. That's the Danbury Shakes sounds like a dance move. Unfortunately, do the Danbury Shake.
Well, a lot of the like sports teams in the area are like reference like hatting. Like it is a
Hatting phrases and stuff.
yeah, like that is the town, the city's like that's their thing. Danbury is where the Hatters Union was created. And although mercury had been banned from production, the land and rivers near the factory still contained trace amounts of mercury. So in that area, the Still River is a river that a lot of these industrial warehouses were built next to. So that river is like pretty contaminated. Like there's still trace amounts within that river and the surrounding rivers. Some methods of cleanup in the area is just picking up the toxic soil and transporting it out of state to protective landfills, but this costs a whole lot, and researchers have attempted to develop plants to clean the soil naturally. This is the part where scary trees enter.
Okay. Bioengineered scary trees.
Yeah, so this next section is called Scary Trees. Yeah.
I like the dramaticism.
So my source for this section is the New York Times article, Super Trees in 2004.
Well, that doesn't sound scary at all. Are they like super trees or scary trees? What are we talking about here?
Well, we'll see. So in 2003, the state planted eastern cottonwood trees that have been genetically engineered to absorb mercury, making them known as the Danbury Eastern Cottonwoods, or Populus deltoides.
Cool.
But downside, they emit said mercury into the air.
Generally a bad thing.
Yeah. So hold on to that.
I'd rather not. But okay.
We'll come back. So the process of using plants to clean up toxic site is called phytoremediation. Phytoremediation. Cottonwood trees have been successful in drawing chlorinated solvents and nitrates from the groundwater, but mercury is another story. Mercury is a metal that doesn't change its basic form. So it can't be broken down or retained. We gonna get some chemistry up in here.
Go for it. You're gonna have to baby it down for me because
It's okay. It is.
I never done did very good in the chemistries.
No, it's good because like me neither. Like it's interesting. I just can't remember. Like that was always the toughest part for me is that you have to like memorize shit.
Yeah.
I just couldn't memorize it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I loved doing the formulas because it was like puzzles.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like I always just treated it like a puzzle, but it was having to remember shit that like always fucked me up.
Yeah.
So, to get the cottonwood trees to absorb mercury, they used a lab monkey's stomach.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I'm bringing monkeys into this. We got chemistry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, what were you saying about monkey stomachs?
Yeah, monkey stomachs.
I almost botched the recording, so
Yeah.
there was a cut just
Like-
a second ago.
Heart attack.
Go on, monkey stomachs.
I hope I'm like saying this right, but the MER-A gene, so MER uppercase A,
MER uppercase A.
MER-A gene,
Okay.
from the gut of a lab monkey helps the trees absorb the metal and convert it into a less dangerous, but still dangerous form.
Huh.
Yeah. So then I was like, what the fuck is MER-A?
Yeah.
So I found a journal from the Oxford Academic Journal site where it said that MER-A is a part of the MER operon that encodes a group of proteins involved in the detection, scavenging, and transport and reduction in mercury. So it's from what I can understand, it's a gene that basically like locates the mercury.
All you chemistry majors in the comments, feel free to correct us. But
Yeah.
So and they found that in lab monkey stomachs.
Yeah. And I tried to do more because then I was like, monkeys. I like monkeys.
You do like monkeys.
And so then I started I just tried to do like a quick Google search, like MER-A monkey gut.
Uh-huh.
What the fuck? And I didn't really get anything else from that.
Huh.
It was just that. I mean, it gave me a ton of journals, but a lot of it was like, what happens if you put a brain cells into a monkey and they come out maybe a little bit smarter? And I'm like, okay, that's cool, but like,
But what about their stomachs?
what about this MER-A gene from monkeys? Because then a lot of like aquatic stuff came up, which I think maybe refers to like that a lot of that came up because there's a lot of like mercury problems within like the ocean and bodies of water.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So why we found it in a monkey stomach, a lab monkey stomach, I don't know.
I wonder if it was like synthetically placed or synthetically like propagated.
Within the monkey's gut.
Yeah, because it is a lab monkey, so maybe it's not a naturally occurring thing, but
Yeah.
they engineered it
Yeah.
to do that and then harvested it. I don't know. I'm just talking out my ass.
No, I've not thought about that. That actually makes some sense.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Yeah. But I stopped researching down that way because then I was like, oh, lab animals. That's sad.
we were talking about Mad Hatters a second ago.
That's what I'm saying. I'm telling you. So the early forms of these trees were developed to absorb the mercury and then emit it in low levels into the atmosphere. So that was done on purpose. So I'm like, why?
Y'all thought that was a good idea.
Yeah. Which one of you?
1800s were a crazy time.
No. This is more recent. This is 2003.
Oh,
Yeah, no, I'm like
the
we
early
passed.
2000s were a crazy time.
Yeah, we passed. We're in somewhat modern.
Yeah.
Well, modern. It's modern. So according to Johann Varkamp, a mercury expert at Wesleyan University, the mercury would stay in the atmosphere for about a year, then fall back down in precipitation and settle into the environment.
Good. So a win for everybody. We're all winning.
So here a little bit of drama, honey. there are some hope in these trees cleaning up the sites of toxic waste, but in that article, the New York Times article, there's a quote from Steve Rock, who is an environmental engineer that has a more realistic opinion, where he says the EPA, which is the Environmental Protection Agency, is never in favor of what is called media switching. Take it out of the soil and put it in the water, or take it out of the soil and put it into the air, because that's not particularly cleaning up. That's just making it somebody else's problem.
Right.
And I was like, ooh,
Yeah.
oh, shoot,
Hot take.
Steve Rock. But yeah, just a little bit on Steve Rock, the environmental engineer for the EPA's National Risk Management Research Lab in Cincinnati. So generally, I think the general consensus is that it's not like a terrible idea, and works for cleaning up some things, but not others, and that it's somewhat a step in the right direction. But it's not totally there yet.
Yeah, it's not a solution. I mean, you're like barely mitigating
Yeah.
the issue.
Well, and so like the biggest reason, or like one of the reasons why they're trying to do this, what is it called? Phytoremediation with the plants, which there's another one that has to do with like using, it's like bioremediation or something like that, which is like using bacteria to do somewhat of the same thing. But so the reason why this is like being developed is because physically lifting the soil, taking it out of state and dumping it in a protected landfill costs so much money. But in the end, there was a part of that article where it was like, yeah, so you plant the trees soak up the bad stuff, and then you take up the trees and put them in a protected landfill, which it's not taking like the soil in its entirety. It's just taking this tree.
Right.
But if like the tree is already emitting the mercury into the air anyways, like you're still spending money like getting this tree out of the area, and the tree's still not even doing the thing it's supposed to do.
Well, and once it's in the atmosphere, it's like, I mean, it's not just going to stay in the atmosphere above
It's gonna move.
Cincinnati, Ohio, or wherever it is. It's like, it's just going to, yeah. I mean, it just kind of disperses. Connecticut.
Connecticut.
Yeah. I was just being, wherever the location is. It could be here. It could be in Asia somewhere. It's like, it's just going to disperse.
Yeah. And it's exactly like this Steve Rock, where it's like, you're just making it somebody else's problem.
Right.
Like it's not actually a solution.
Exactly.
So hard left, we're going to talk about another person.
Okay.
So on that History Channel site from the very beginning, it gave me a little bit on the background of like Mad Hatters and stuff. And then it like hard left into talking about Boston Corbett, who is the dude that killed the guy who killed Lincoln. So according to the site, research believe that this guy, Boston Corbett, was suffering from mercury poisoning.
I was about to say, and where is our missing puzzle piece? There it is. Okay.
He had been a hat maker since he was a young man, and then became a religious zealot in 1858. Then he castrated himself.
Okay.
Yeah, just, to curb his libido.
Because it's fine.
Yeah. Become a religious zealot, castration.
Okay. Okay.
What would it take for you to castrate yourself?
I'm not. I don't want to entertain that thought.
Like where would you have to be mentally?
I would have to be in the midst of mercury poisoning, more than likely. Yeah, no, that you'd have to have some serious noggin issues going on to do that. Not even to just like think of it as a good idea, but to get past the mental gymnastics that it takes to perform the action.
Right.
Because that's like, I mean, I don't know, trigger warning, like self-harm. that's one thing that's never like computed in my head. And I mean, I don't know, my like deepest sympathies to anybody that's experienced that, but the mental gymnastics that you have to go through in order to get to that point, I can't like fathom it. I can't understand it. And I'm very fortunate for that. And again, sympathies to anyone that is dealing with that. But to answer your original question, I don't think I could ever castrate myself.
No.
No, I don't think so.
Oh, okay. I was just curious.
I'm sorry to dash your hopes and dreams.
No.
But no.
Okay. So yeah, that happens. Then he wants to join the Union Army during the Civil War, which, you know, I want to make like a snarky comment about him, like having to go through some physical checkup and then having to explain why the castration.
Hey man, so let me ask you something. You it looks like you got a bit of a botch job going on. You want to explain any of that? No?
Oh,
I would just blame it on a bear attack.
what is? Shit. Boston Corbet and the Angry Inch.
Oh no. Oh, that's unfortunate.
But
shout out to anybody that actually got the reference.
yeah. But then we have to remember that this is Civil War times. So they probably just he probably just like ran into one of the few buildings that existed, yelled at somebody that he wanted to join the army, and then they gave him a baton and pointed at a field and said, "Go fight."
That's what I'm saying. And if they did ask about it, if he did receive a physical bear attack,
Just no other physical scars.
that bear had a vendetta.
Yeah.
That bear woke up that morning and chose violence.
Okay. So we have a mercury poisoned, castrated religious zealot in the army, which, you know, honestly, a dime a dozen.
During
and
those times.
President Lincoln has been shot by John Wilkes Booth at the theater. So Corbett and his regiment, which is the 16th New York Cavalry, make it their mission to hunt down this killer. April 26th, the soldiers have Booth surrounded in a Virginia barn, but crazy-ass Corbett disobeys orders to capture him alive and shoots him dead. But he's let off scot-free and eventually is seen as a hero who avenged the death of our dear president.
Nice. The United States legal system.
Yeah, this is America.
Corbett, they don't catch him slipping up.
No. Well, so just to round out Corbett's story, he goes back into hat making, hermits in Kansas for a little bit, but he does land in a mental asylum for threatening people with a gun, and then escapes and disappears off the map entirely. And that's it.
And he's just never heard from again.
And that's it. Yep.
He's like a patriotic ghost in the night.
Yep.
I have come to make hats, kill presidential assassins,
Castrate.
and I've already done one of the two.
Yeah. Hey, and that's my story.
There you go.
Yeah.
Wow. So, Mad Hatters to super trees to the guy that killed Lincoln.
Yeah. Yeah. I just, you know, like, it really took me. Oh, monkey guts.
And monkey guts. Do you think Corbett continued making hats? Like imagine where he went after he left, after he eloped essentially, and just kind of went wherever he went. Do you think he opened up another hat shop and really cashed in on the whole like
No.
president assassin killer thing?
I think he escaped a mental asylum and like got lost in the woods and probably just
died of
in the
frostbite.
woods. Yeah.
In winter.
I don't know. Like,
And then that bear found him a little later and was like, I guess I'll finish what I started.
oh no. Yeah.
Wow. What a ride.
Yeah.
That was interesting.
Yeah. You're welcome.
Yeah. Thanks. I got a bit more to chew on than the last recording that we did too.
The monkey guts really did it for me.
Yeah, that was pretty interesting.
I found that to be quite interesting to get into like the chemistry of stuff very slightly, like
Mm-hmm.
the slightest bit
Mm-hmm.
of chemistry. I was sitting there on the computer like, taka, 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 I'm so smart. I'm researching chemistry.
I'll know when you're researching a topic for the podcast now, because whenever I walk into your room, and
I'd
if
be
I
like, I'm so smart.
if I if I open the door and hear tuck, 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 it's either Dr. Evil doing the Macarena or you typing on your keyboard. And tuck, tuck, tuck,
I'm
tuck,
so
tuck, tuck,
fucking
tuck.
smart.
Good. Alrighty. Well,
Yeah.
that was the main topic. You want to do doggy horoscopes?
Yes, I want to do doggy horoscopes. We need Aries and Sagittarius.
Yeah. Well, Aries is there. And where's Sagittarius? There. They flipped the order on me again. Yeah. Okay. Lisa Stardust.
So we'll do doggy horoscopes, but this is for last week. So let's see if this horoscope matches how the last week went for the dogs.
Okay. What happened last week? My last week was a blur. I don't even remember what I did last week.
Last week,
This past week.
yeah.
Uh,
I've been in a very rough mental state, so
I've been having a time.
yeah.
Um,
So I'm not a very good judge.
yeah. Well, so and also we should have mentioned it last episode that we did doggy horoscopes, but these are coming from Teen Vogue, but they're being written by Miss Lisa Stardust.
Well,
So.
and we won't always go to Teen Vogue.
No, but
We just need to find other sources.
Yeah.
But Teen Vogue will be one that we come to.
yeah. So Miss Lisa Stardust from Teen Vogue.
Who is just not delivering. I mean, it's Sunday morning.
Yeah, the new week hasn't been posted yet, so we're looking back.
Okay,
So this
go
is
ahead.
for the week of the 11th through the 17th. So Aries, this would be for Charlie. Lately, it's been hard to concentrate on tasks in your life. Lately. Instead of doing your homework, you're wanting to take a nap or watch movies. It's okay to zone out every once in a while as long as you do everything you're supposed to, like your schoolwork. She better do her schoolwork. This week doesn't make anything much clearer. In fact, it'll be more confusing and ambiguous than ever. Ebb and flow at your own pace. The less you push yourself, the better you'll feel. Don't let your anxieties get the best of you. Oh. Center your energy and try to remain calm.
Wow. That's like Charlie can't decide if she wants to play with her toys or lay down or follow me.
Yeah, she's been up and down a good bit.
And she is like anxiety dog definition.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel bad leaving her in the cage when we go to work. But if I don't, we'll have approximately 5 less books on the shelf.
Yeah.
And less leaves on all of our house
On
plants.
plants. She will pull the plant off of the shelf.
The stuffed gorilla in the living room will have
Less fingers.
less fingers. He already doesn't have thumbs. You can't even technically call him a gorilla. He doesn't have thumbs.
She doesn't have thumbs.
So, yeah.
Yeah, no. Charlie's like, she can't decide what toy she wants to play with.
So we just need to help her make decisions.
Sure.
Yeah. Just tell her.
You're going to play with this toy.
You're going to play with this toy. Yeah. So.
All right, Melas. What's going on with Melas?
Yeah, that was Charlie's, Aries. And then Mayla's is for Sagittarius. Womp, 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 womp. There it is. So, does your current relationship / crush have you turned upside down? If yes, then it's because you're dealing with someone who's playing games with your heart. She's so dramatic. The truth is that you're a direct person who speaks bluntly from the soul. Yeah,
Oh
she
my
does.
gosh.
Mayla gives some mean side eye. She doesn't really speak directly, but her eyes say a good bit. The person you have feelings for is a bit skittish with their emotions. You deserve to be with someone who's in it to win it with you, not a person who isn't sure about what they want from the relationship. Observe their actions and take note of their behavior. You need a partner who isn't flaky but emotionally reliable.
Oh my God. I feel called out personally because Mela has been very affectionate to me lately. So she needs to, and I have not been emotionally available.
You've not? No.
Oh my God, Mela.
Mela.
Oh,
No,
look
she's
at-
not
oh
even
my
turning
God.
around.
She's made her decision. She's breaking up with me.
Mela. Hi.
Oh my God.
What's she doing over there?
Yo, Teen Vogue.
Lisa Stardust.
Lisa Stardust.
Thanks, Lisa.
Mela, you
Lisa.
deserve to be with someone who is more, what is it? In it to win it with you.
Are you in it to win it?
Oh my God. I'm sorry I've been emotionally unavailable to you, Mela. She's like squinting at me.
Well, she's got that like half open eye, sleepy
Yeah.
face that dogs get.
And Charlie, you just need to pick a toy.
Just pick one.
Just pick a toy. It's okay.
You can't play with them all at one
I
time.
mean, I don't really want to play with you, but
Yeah.
no matter what toy you pick.
If you bring me a toy while I'm doing research or cooking dinner, or my hands are a little full.
Oh, Charlie.
Well, maybe that's a sign. Maybe we hop off here and we go play tug of war with Charlie.
Or take them on a walk or something.
Yeah, that'd be a good
Take
idea.
them to that park and take them on a little walk.
Yeah, get them outside. All right, well, done.
Yeah, I think so.
Another episode in the books.
Yeah. Oh, we still don't have a name.
Nah, we'll figure it out.
We keep like coming up with something that we think we like, and then we let it sit for a couple days, and then we come up with something else.
Yeah.
So
We'll see. We had one. We had a conversation the other day where we were like, "Yep,
That's
done.
it. That's it."
And then you texted me the next morning and was like, "What about?"
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. It's a work in progress. We're only episode 2,
All right.
barely, because we had to re-record.
Thanks for listening this far in.
All right. Late skates.
Goodbye.
Congrats on making it to the end of the episode. Why don't you give us a follow wherever you're listening and maybe even leave a review? Put in a good word with the algorithm,
For picture references and other general content related to the pod, you can follow our social accounts at The Dog Hair Is Free on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube.
Subscribe to get notifications when we post new episodes, but otherwise we're targeting releases every other week, so hopefully more frequently in the future. And again, thanks for your time.
The dog hair is free. Is free. Is free.